Hi, welcome to Remember This. I'm your host, Denise Boland, and I have a special co-host. It's actress Deborah Twiss, and we are having our first roundtable, women's roundtable, which I hope you will benefit from and really enjoy. We have some special guests with us. We have author Rachel Hamm.
Hi.
And
hey.
We have celebrity chef Margarita Colon.
Hi. Hi, nice to meet you.
Author and life coach, Regina Stafford.
Hi.
And of course, Deborah Twiss, actress, screenwriter, director. Everybody, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having
You're
us.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks. So Deborah, how did this all start? This whole idea.
Well, this came from when we had our interview, and we just could have spoken together for hours and hours about all the things going on in the world. And I know my life is all about female empowerment, starting with me and my daughter first. And sorry, I'm just making sure my dogs aren't up to something really bad, but they're not. And there's a lot of great things going on in the world, and there's a lot of shit things going on too. And it just seems like a really wonderful moment to get together and commiserate at this time when we're all supposed to be separated and wearing our own breathing apparatuses and not being in each other's energy. I want nothing more than to connect with others. So maybe that's one of the big benefits of the pandemic, that we've realized just how much we adore and need each other. I realized throughout this how much I actually love human beings, which is a great thing.
It is a great thing.
It's so great to see new faces. Hello.
It's great seeing yours.
So can we start with Rachel? Rachel, can you just give us a little background?
Yeah, so I was raised in a Christian family in the center of California, but I was raised in really fairly extreme poverty, which set the stage for me to ultimately be victimized by multiple people. I had satanic ritual abuse in my early years, in my preschool years. I was a part of a preschool that was actually a coven, and then went on to be abused by the pastor of our church and a neighbor. And so ultimately I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of the results that come from those sorts of situations, and ended up seeking out a healing process that has set me free. I love life. I'm full of joy. I'm full of peace. And I now help other people. And I do that through a variety of ways. I wrote a book called Life Beginning, and that's really my whole story. And then I have done life coaching and speaking, and I have written now a second book. And actually I've written two books, but they're still on my computer right now. So I'm in the process of revising that. And I love people also, like she just said, and I want to see people live free and live the life that God intended for them to live, which is a life that's full of happiness and health and good relationships and all kinds of just blessing. And so I kind of see myself as a salesman for getting healthy emotionally, spiritually, physically too, but especially emotionally and mentally and spiritually. So that's a little bit about me. I am married and have 4 sons also.
Wonderful.
Wow, nice.
Sending you virtual hugs, because that's some story.
Thank you.
And where are you? Where are you based?
I am in the center of California. I am in Clovis, California, which is like, it backs up to Fresno. Maybe you've heard of Fresno, California.
I have. I lived in Northern California for 2 years in 9th and 10th grade by Folsom. But I wasn't in jail.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in the Fresno area.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Margie, what about you?
Well, hello everyone. Hi. Hopefully we can pass through this pandemic all fine and safe, and we can all have a physical reunion where we can have even a little potluck if we need to, you know, a little women's picnic where we could regroup
that'd be great.
and spiritually come together and be able to maybe share stories like you did, Rachel, which I admire your strength, and thank you for sharing that. I am, my legal name is Margarita Colon. I am Chef Margie, industry, AKA Celebrity Chef Margie. I was born and raised in Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. Well, sorry, I was born in Manhattan, raised in Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn. I am a Williamsburg girl now, and I've been here for some time in Brooklyn still. And how did I become a chef or where I am now? Rachel, I'd like to piggyback, okay?
Okay.
I'd like to say that you made every hair on my body stand, and I admire you so much. I know that was really hard.
Yeah.
I am, so excuse me. Thank you. I'm very proud of women that are so strong that can say these things. And I applaud you for your, I don't want to make it about you, it's about me now, but thank you. Well, the reason why I say this, and you're going to see why it'll come together and how it seems together, is that I personally came from poverty as well. I was raised in Carroll Gardens, Brooklyn. My father was a longshoreman. He would build beautiful boats, and my mother was a restaurant owner, and she was a beautician. She was everything. She was a jack of all trades, a master of none, you know, but she did her best to raise us the right way. However, just to speed up through the story, I lost my mom when she was about 12. When I was about 12. When I was 12, I lost my mom. I didn't lose her physically or to any type of horrible story. I just lost her because of the wrong decisions she made. By that time, she was already separated from my father. And I was basically on my own. Nobody, you know, I have so many people that have pitched me offers to hear my story, where I started from, and here it goes. Here's the first time everybody's hearing it. And at 11 years old, my mother was totally gone. And I found myself living from home to home to home to home, where I could sleep and live. And until I found a permanent home in her friend's house. And her colleague, her college friends, saw that I was able to sew and cook by that time, because my mother was very old fashioned. We had to know how to do everything by the age of 10, everything. And when I went with her to a party one day, I helped them cook, and I helped them with decorations, and to again expedite the story. The person that was throwing this party was impressed by the way I cooked and by the things that I was able to do. So her friend decided that she would make a business of my skills. So for me to stay with this, for me to have a place to stay, mind you, I was already home to home to home, the best way I could. I was basically contracted out as a homemaker. Not housekeeper, but homemaker, whatever they needed me to be, whatever I could make. I could, if they needed me to make dinner or make the beds or clean a home, that was who I was. Mm-hmm. And I did this for many, many years. And my theory today is that who I've become. I finally made it out, and I became stronger, and I was able to finish school. I was able to put myself through college. I was able to, I had my children. I protected my children in every way that I could at times when I woke up in a stranger's home. But I did everything I could. And then from there, I grasped the attitude that everything that I learned from that journey, from learning how to cook, because I was living with Chinese people, with Polish people, with Russian people, with everyone that needed me to cook. I was going to make it a profession. And I was going to sell my craft to their offsprings, to their generation, and redeem myself. And with that, I did my best. I raised my kids by myself. I went through domestic violence. I went through losing everything to go into a shelter and to be where I stand today, where I've lost everything and I've rebuilt everything again. And the celebrity chef Margie that I am, that everybody's a celebrity chef Margie. I kind of, when I'm with a celebrity or when I'm with a person, we're all just people. Because I have met so many people that I've seen so many versions of who they could become or who they could evolve into, that sometimes we have to get to the core of the spirit and say they're just humans. Mm-hmm. And what are their capabilities? Are they good or bad? So now I'm before, we're all 5 women, but I'm before 4 wonderful women, and then we're all going to have a background story, but we're going to have at the end, how would you say, our final story of success and how we come together to make a family. So I didn't really give you a lot, but I wanted to just give you a little fingerprint, so to speak, that celebrity chef Margie busts her ass to be where she is. I bust my ass, literally, as a child, as a teenager, as a mother, as a woman, and I never stepped on anyone on my way up. So, and that's why my compassion is here for everyone.
That's great. You get virtual hugs too. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she has a heart of gold, and she actually suffered with the coronavirus. And when I say suffered, how many weeks?
Yes, 2 months.
Oh.
2 months.
Goodness.
Like totally being out of it. Like she couldn't even get out of bed. I mean, it was really bad.
Yes. So now I've turned that around, and everyone that has lost their income and lost their resources, I cook for them. I cook for the community. I make community meals. And I had to stop a little bit because the sponsors that I was cooking for were keeping the chef-made food and giving the COVID victims, or rather the COVID residents, those that were suffering from COVID, the city the city food. Oh, and my point to get to come on and help was so that everyone would have healthy food. And I have sponsors that, I mean, I'm flourished with food. If anyone needs food, you can just reach out to me. And I have an open heart, open refrigerator. But it's not going to the right people. So I need to find the right resources so that I can help everyone.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe we could help with that.
Yeah.
Networking.
We'll find some way. We'll find a way. The food is there, and just let me know, and I just have to turn on the grill or turn on the burner.
Awesome. Thank you, Margie.
You're welcome.
Hey, Regina.
Hey, amazing stories, ladies.
Yes.
Boy, inspiration.
Yeah.
For
Regina and I go back. How long do we go back? Like way back?
My gosh, we're friends over
30 years.
Over 30 years. Yeah.
And she's always inspiring me. She just, yeah. That's why I love being around you. You always make me feel better about myself just by having a conversation with you.
Thank you. That's what you do for me, Denise.
Aw.
That's what you do for me.
You're a very giving person, you are, Denise.
Yes, very, very caring. And I am very fortunate to have you in my life.
Thank you. Well, I think, God has brought us together here for a reason. So there's going to be a bond between us now, like never before. So,
yeah, we have a very good mesh here.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what God is going to do.
Yes.
So,
besides living down the block from Scott Baio's house.
yeah.
We were talking about Scott Baio. She lives down the block from where Scott Baio used to live.
You told me about her.
Yes.
Remember? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I also was a victim of verbal abuse, and it traumatized me so much that I started getting panic attacks and anxiety attacks at a very young age. I was a teenager, supposed to go off to high school, and I lost my voice, my empowered voice, and just wound up feeling like useless and purposeless. And then at a certain point, I started reading. I dug into my spiritual life and was able to find my voice again. Fast forward a lot, found my voice, and started to use it to help other women to find their voice. I work as a life coach, trained. I've been doing it over 10 years. And my tagline is know your worth, find your voice, and own your power. And women mostly find themselves somewhere in those three. And when I work with them, you know, try to get them beyond one of those places. Because a lot of women don't know how valuable they are. And then because they've been beat down or put down, or just, you know, ladies can't talk, you know, we don't have a voice. And then owning your power and actually stepping into your purpose and your destiny is a whole other thing. And so the support is very, very important, you know, and the healing to take place. So, you know, after that trauma, if I fast forward, I'm not going to go into everything that I've been through. You know, you ladies have been through your own trauma. But after all the trauma that I've been through, God has landed me in this privileged place of working with women who are in domestic violence situations. I belong to an organization, and we help get women out of those situations. We help empower them. We counsel them, you know, so it's really a privilege to help these women who are so beaten down. I also do coaching. I have podcasts, and there go my dogs.
I thought they were Deb's dogs.
I know.
Sorry, I
That's
tried
okay.
to put them off. I do podcasts on different subjects. I have people send me questions and whatnot that they want to answer that they you know, wouldn't talk to anybody else about. Blogs and what else? Stepping into a class, a healing class that's going to start taking place the end of this month that I'm really excited about, to walk women through a healing through spiritual and meditative practices. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited about all of that. You know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of opportunity. You know, one of the things that I always said, and I always wanted to be, was a very strong and powerful woman without having to be a bitch.
There you go.
I don't think that that's true power. You know, I think that that's fighting. And when you own your power, you don't have to fight because you know it. And so, you know, that's one of the things that I really want to empower women, that they don't have to go to that place to be powerful. And so, you know, by all these means, we'll see how we can do it.
Yep. I agree. Do you ladies agree with that? I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting because I have 4 sons. And so the whole like women being strong thing is interesting to me, because I am also concerned about boys and how they're affected. And my husband is amazing, so honoring to me, so esteeming to me. My dad and my brother also were very much like, you can do anything. Like, I've never had a sense of being limited as a woman. And now I have 4 sons who are the same way, you know, just very, very honoring, and I feel empowered. And so I am passionate about women being strong, being powerful, being everything God created them to be, while simultaneously not putting men down in any way. And, you know, just truly living as equals, not as better than. And so I think that's one thing that I don't like about women's lib movements in general. I like the idea of women being strengthened, empowered, and esteemed. That is crucial. But what I don't like is that sometimes it comes at the expense of men, or, you know, it's like putting men down, or, you know, women rule, men drool kind of stuff. And I think, yeah, no. Let's not put that down. Let's honor them as they should be honored. And let's also expect that we would be honored equally.
That's right.
And so that's something I feel strongly about.
It's so funny. Denise and I had a talk about an hour ago about this very same thing. And we were talking about what we want to gear the whole roundtable toward. And I told her about how, you know, I'm working right now. I'm producing and directing this show called Men About Town, about this amazing guy that I met online by accident, this crooner guy who wanted to do this style show. And he's an expert about men's style, men's empowerment, all this men things. And I grew up with 2 brothers and a really cool dad who was very driven. My parents had me too young, so it became very narcissistic, and I became the scapegoat, the one that had to raise everybody and then deal with their alcoholism and all this other crap. But I've kind of dealt with that, except for something else that we'll get to later that I could totally use all of your help on. But when I was talking to Denise, I told her, I said, you know, I feel really honored in a way that this guy wants me to produce and direct his thing. I'm a woman, but I really do believe in what he's doing. And I believe that it's kind of frustrating that men with this whole women's liberation thing, which is great. It's good that women need empowered. I agree. Women have always needed to be empowered, but it's more about how we step into our own power. And it's not about disempowering men. And thus as there's the divine female and the divine male, we should respect that. And I love being a woman. I like wearing a dress and high heels. And I like the way it feels when, you know, a guy looks at me in that way and thinks, oh, wow, you look great. I love that. I love to be complimented. I love to be a girl. And I don't want to act like a man. I don't want to wear a pantsuit and be all butch and make my hair, you know, be in a buzz cut just so I can fit in. I don't think that's necessary. And I don't think it's necessary that men need to stop giving compliments to women. And men, you know, men should be empowered just as we are empowered. And so I think it's really wonderful that you said all that. And this show that I'm working on with this guy really goes toward that. And I've especially loved it because it's so taboo now. In the world of #MeToo, which I've got a whole other set of issues about, because I never, you know, to me, when I found out all these girls were having sex with Harvey Weinstein, I met Harvey Weinstein in the 90s. And I was like, ew, gross, get away from me. It's a choice. Like, why, if somebody shows up if you show up to meet somebody for dinner at their hotel room and they open the door and they have a towel on and say, oh, come on in. My first reaction was like, dude, put clothes on. I'll meet you in the lobby. Like, that was it. I never felt pressured to go in. I didn't realize until 3 or 4 years ago that I was supposed to actually go in there and fuck them to like get somewhere. I'm like, that's what I did wrong? I would have been A-list? What? So, you know, there's a little.
And we talked about that, Deb. Remember, we were saying, you know, when you come from an abusive background, an abusive childhood, you would succumb to that kind of sexual abuse. You would, you know, you wouldn't be the strong woman that's going to be like, put your clothes on. We're here for dinner, you know. And they prey upon people like that too. They look for people that are vulnerable, you know.
That's why healing is so important, because if you don't get healing, then you are going to be continually victimized or set up in situations that you don't have the power to deal with. So when you deal with what's happened and get healed, then you can say, yeah, no, I'm not coming into your hotel room, put some clothes on, I'll meet you in the lobby. I mean, that's exactly what a healthy person would say. Right. But unfortunately, there's a lot of screwed up people that aren't getting help, and so they do stupid things.
Right.
You know, if I could just chime in, I want to say that I, as a chef, before that was a civil mediation officer, and I worked as a civil mediation officer, mediating landlord and tenant issues. Everything that had to do with saving an eviction, saving someone from eviction, or if not, well, you know, I hate to say it, but sometimes even assisting with performing the eviction. I am also a licensed commissioner of deeds. I'm a notary, and I worked with the public for many, many years. For many years. I was already certified as a chef, but I wanted to make my adoptive parents happy to do what they wanted me to do, which was, they're Christians, and they wanted me to serve the community, and they wanted me to do everything that I could. And I dabbled in domestic violence and in the shelter system, the HRA system, city and statewide governments. And so I dealt with a lot of broken homes, a lot of broken people. And Denise touched on something, that when you have that seed of being a victim, like just that seed in you, mm-hmm. It's there. It will be there. It will be there. What it will become inside of you spiritually is something that takes a lot of work. And there will be predators like this gentleman, like Harvey, like this pig. and like all these other men that have done these things. I just want to share really quick. I was once I went to a home where I had to do an income assessment. Income assessment means that I would have to go to Rachel's home or Regina's home, and I would just see all her documents, see where her last paycheck ended, or where it will continue, or where it will be short, whatever, just to make sure that she can have legal representation. If not, I would have to step in and mediate between her and her landlord, or whatever the case was. If it was a divorce, if it was immigration, if it was whatever, I do it all. However, there was a young boy, her son, that was approaching us, and he was telling me in Spanish, dolor, pain, 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 and he just kept sticking his finger in his ear. So as a mom, we know that's an ear infection. That's an ear, we know that that's an ear infection. However, this is where I want to show you how our lives will cross other lives. This young man was crying so hard, and he was sobbing. He was so emotional that I told her in Spanish, you know what, I'm going to drive him. I'm going to drive you both to the emergency room, and I'll wait. And I was in the Bronx at the time. However, when we were at the pediatric ward, and when a doctor came in to treat him, he jumped. He started urinating. Literally, you could see the urine come out of him. So right away, I identified something wrong there. And this started with an income assessment, just to see if she can qualify for a lawyer or not. He started urinating on himself, and then from there, I said, I'd like to speak to a social worker. So I spoke to a social worker that only spoke Spanish, because this lady was from Venezuela. And the child, I told her, I basically alluded to the fact that she would need to speak to this young man, because he's crying. With the sight of a male doctor, he started urinating, and those are signs of sexual abuse. I am trained in that area. So they would see a chef, but they don't know my background, at the time. Well, now they would, because I wasn't a chef back then. And when this social worker walked in, I explained what my suspicion was, and I was right. So it started with an income assessment. And by the end of that day, that child was with ACS temporarily. The mother was placed by me at a domestic violence shelter, because she did not know that was going on, but she was being hit every day at all expense for anything, even if the food was cold. So I walked in with a woman smiling, happy, had coffee, cookies, and everything for me. Beautiful home. And her child was under some distress, and so was she. So why did I share that story? Because Regina was discussing the verbal abuse. Mm-hmm. Rachel was discussing the empowerment of men. And Denise was discussing, wait, let me get let me see how we meshed this all together. You just said right now, Denise, that
when you suffer from abuse as a child,
right.
Yeah,
That's what
and Rachel was saying, and you don't get healed from it, you're going to succumb to abuse.
Right.
You're going to give it to them.
And I'm listening, and you're all giving me a portion of the story that I lived. So we all learn these things about one another. We learn that human beings are not who they are, especially on Facebook, on social media. Everybody here, yeah. I was a celebrity chef, and they would never suspect my background.
Yeah.
So this is why this roundtable is so appreciated.
Yeah.
What's fascinating to me too is the fact that I had awful abuse as a child. I mean, like I said, my parents were young. I was the Cinderella. I was forced to, I was ironing clothes when I was 3. The first time I got a burn on my hand was 3, because I was forced, my whole life, I was forced to iron my dad's white shirts for his work. And to the point where I don't have an ironing board, a proper ironing board, because even the thought of ironing makes me so angry and enraged. And there was a point, especially once they started drinking and I had to raise my brothers. I had to make everybody food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, do the homework. I taught my brothers how to ride bikes. When I went to college, my mom called me and asked me how to make her bed and make coffee, because she didn't know, because I was doing everything. And if I didn't, I was called a whore. So, but the whole time, and I think one of the reasons I ended up in the creative field and being a producer and director in particular, forget about actor. Actor to me was easy because like I had to act in order to get through the day. I had to pretend everything was okay just to deal with living in the house that I was in. And I would invent these stories in my mind about what was really going on. Because if I had to be present in my body, I would have lost it. One of my brothers is such a drug addict. We don't even know where he is. My parents disowned him, even though they're the ones that led to him being what he is. And to this day, I'm just so devastated by that. And he's 9 years younger than me. And I always feel like if I had just taken him with me when I left to go to NYU, shush, sorry. When I left to go to NYU, I felt like if I had, and I only went for a year because my parents gambled all the college money and I couldn't afford to, I was going to go and get loans to study drama. That was stupid. I didn't want to be a drama teacher. But the thing that got me through was my imagination. And if within my imagination and going into the different characters, I read a ton of Tennessee Williams and Shakespeare from the time I was 12. And I would identify with these characters and find the way that they were able to overcome. And that's what led me to being able to get through. And it also, by reading all these classical kind of works, I think it's what helped me find my inner voice. When I was 15, I was being coached by this guy for the role of Blanche in Streetcar Named Desire. And he was supposed to be the guru of drama coaches or whatever. It was Pittsburgh, whatever, who cares, doesn't matter. But he and he was attractive. I was 15, he was probably 35. He had longish hair, kind of hot, whatever. But he came up to me during this thing and he looked at me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, you know, I think what you really need to do for this role is to open yourself up because it feels like you're very sexually repressed. I had this moment inside of me with a rage. I could feel it boiling up from my toes, come through me, go right through my pee-pee, into my heart and explode. Next thing I knew, I punched his hand away. And I said to him, I said, get your fucking hands off me. We are done. I'm not taking coaching from you anymore. I'm calling my mom. She's going to come get me. And don't you ever call my house again or I'll tell them what you did. And that was it. And I think throughout my life, like I totally agree with you, Denise, there are victims, but I knew very early on that I was being victimized. And I found the places to kind of stand up for myself just so that I could have the bridge to a better reality. It didn't stop me from getting into a shitty relationship with a control freak narcissist piece of shit for most of my 20s. And throughout the past 18 years, I've been involved with a compulsive alcoholic control freak. And for the past 12 years, it's been a sexless marriage. And I am currently in the process of trying to dismantle this and get the fuck out. And I am finding that place inside of me where I am feeling like a victim. And I don't understand why I can't just pick up and leave. I mean, I have 10 dogs, 8 of which are mine, 12 cats, which are all a product of the lack of affection and love and support that I've gotten. I've gotten them from my rescues. My rescue animals are the thing that allowed me to feel the love that I did not have from anyone, except for my kids. But they're kids. I mean, they're not supposed to give you that kind of love or anything. And I didn't want to push it on them the way I got pushed into shit. So I've taken on all the burdens. And so this is such a valuable place. Dash. This is such a valuable place. And thank you so much for, I mean, I think it's so amazing that all of us are here. And I just wish so much that, you know, even, I don't want to ever be mistaken when I say the things about Harvey Weinstein. Everything that I've done in my grown-up life with strangers to stand up for myself and say, screw you, you're an asshole, shut up, I'll meet you downstairs. I wish so much I was able to do that in my personal life. But I think after being so indoctrinated as a child about how, no, it's not here, guys, it's online, honeys. I think it's just messed me up, and I don't know. How is it that I can say no to someone like Harvey Weinstein and tell him to fuck off, but
Right.
somebody that's drunk, asleep on my sofa downstairs, I can't tell him to get the fuck out of my life.
Mhm.
And so I am very, very, very much invested in female empowerment and finding my way and our way collectively out of the crap that we've been burdened by, but
Yeah.
not at the expense. There are good guys out there that
Yes.
really just want to be good men and they want to help us. I've got all these male friends that want to save me. And I don't want to take advantage because I don't want to be saved. I want to save me. I want to save me. I want to step into my full power as a girl, as a girl. I don't have to say woman. No, there's a little girl that's desperate to be saved, but I want to save her. I don't want some guy to save her.
Yeah.
And
That goes back to the Disney cartoons. What did they teach young girls? That you needed a prince to come and save you, right? And that's not the fact, right? I lost 2 husbands, so yeah, I've learned to be very, very independent.
The apple slipped me a Mickey too, you know, because the apple put Snow White to sleep, you know, and it's like it kind of my daughter said that once. She was like, "Mom, I'm gonna slip you a Mickey," just joking with me, and she's like, "I'm gonna Snow White you." So that you would say Disney because with the apple, I think she ate the apple from the what was it, a stepmom, right? That became a witch or something.
She was a neighborhood witch, I think.
No,
she was
Right? Oh no, she was the Wicked Queen.
The Wicked Queen. It was her mother.
We're talking about Sleeping Beauty now, right? Sleeping Beauty?
No, it was Snow White. Snow White.
Snow White. Oh, Snow White with the apple. You're right.
Snow White with the
of
apple. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you look at all these Mickeys, all these women that they've been roofied and have been Mickeyed and stuff like that, you know, and to think that that's part of a Disney story, if you really read into it, I mean, there are a lot of things that I've seen on Disney that are very X-rated. Very X-rated. You could even look it up on Google.
Yeah, I did a whole show on that. There's a lot of stuff.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. But
It's crazy
even
stuff.
my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's like, I don't need a man to save me, you know, I'm a woman, you know, and she said when my twins were born, she was 19 when my twins were born, she was like a second mother. She's like, please don't let them watch Disney movies. Please don't let them think they need a prince to come and save them, you know? And really that's the message that they're telling little girls, you know? And it's wonderful to have a mate, you know, God ordained, you know, but me personally, I depend on God because he's the only one that can really save me. And he's the only one that's carrying me through everything that I'm doing. I mean, yeah, I'm like doing stuff around the house that I never had to do before. And it sucks, you know, I'm like, you know, this is a man's job, but I'm doing it. I have to step into that role, but it's okay. But because God gives me the strength to do anything that I need to do. And so I'm okay with that.
See, and that's why I wrote the book that I wrote on dating, because a lot of people don't understand, you know, like we have all these fantasies in our minds about the dating relationship and the man and woman relationship and everything. And so I wanted people to be able to see the red flags, you know, like Deborah said, you know, she's in these relationship with these narcissists, you know, and so like I was like, you know, this is down and dirty, right to the point, you know, like if you see these things, get out, you know, because you're in for something there, you know, those are all the red flags.
It's all about like being able to tell the signs, right? Like in the dating period.
Yeah.
But what happens if they're on their best behavior while you're dating them and then you find out what they really like once you're married?
That's the reason why, you know, you take it slow. Too many people, they rush into it. When you take it slow and, you know, all this is in my book and you get to see this guy or woman around their family, around their friends, around their job, you get to see all the different facets of them. And, you know, maybe for 2 or 3 weeks they can play it, but they're going to play it for a year, you know, if you go a little slow. But everybody's like, you know, they're making everything happen right away now. You know, so
especially as we get older, I know friends of mine, who they're like getting into marriages really quick because they're like,
Yeah.
well, what are we going to wait for? Look at, our age,
Right.
if we know we love each other, then, we might as well just get married.
And then my question is, what is marriage exactly? To me, at this point, looking at the purpose of it, it's a medieval construct that made women have to be subservient to men. I literally, after what I've just been through, like, why would I ever want to enter into this contract again? That's so difficult to get out of. Why?
And you're so
Right?
right. People don't understand what marriage is supposed to be, a teamwork, and if you have somebody who can't work as a team, where Rachel said that, her husband is real supportive of her, and, my husband is the same way, and he backs my dreams, and he has dreams of his own. So we back each other, but we had an understanding that, it's teamwork, and people prepare for the marriage and then they don't know what happens afterward. So that was another reason why, I felt like I had to put this book out because my husband and I, we've worked with couples for like 25 years. We're trained, we've worked with them and whatever. And when I asked people, what was your dating relationship like? And they told me, well, I saw this and I saw that and I was like, and you went forward anyway? Like you should know, like, this is the thing of it. Your values. You've got to know yourself and your values first. When you know your values, you know what to look for in the other person. It's not that you have to, do anything else to get to know them. Know yourself. And young girls don't know themselves. It takes, for us, I don't know about you guys, but it took many years for me to really understand. And I'm still learning about myself. Mm-hmm. So, if you get into a marriage and you don't even know yourself, you don't know what you're looking for in anybody else. But I know that I want somebody to support me. I want somebody that is honest and values commitment, and values honesty and sense of humor, and all those things. And so that's what I would look for, but we don't know that until we get to know ourselves, and like I said, Deborah, I totally agree with you. So many people, they do not understand what marriage is for. It's supposed to be the greatest relationship on earth, a partnership for both of you to springboard from and live from. And if you have this powerhouse at your home, and then you go out into the world and then you can come back and it's a safe place, it's a wonderful thing. But if you're, killing each other in the house and it's your battleground, then you're just like hanging on by a thread when you go out into the world to face people that you don't even know. So it's hard, I'm not minimizing anything. It's hard. And you can do, all your best and still wind up with somebody that, lied to you or whatever. But the thing of it is, it's having some tools to actually try to navigate that world with.
And going through a healing process. That's why I was saying that, because like when you do go through a healing process after having a hard childhood, then you do pick a good spouse. Like I think that there's a healing that's needed in order to change the way we make decisions. And we don't even realize we're making decisions in a way that's unhealthy until we get healthy. And then we realize, oh, there's a better way. Mm-hmm. And I've been married for 23 years and I have an amazing marriage. I love marriage. I think it's the greatest thing ever. So there's different perspectives. I don't see it as medieval at all. I think it's amazing. But again, my husband treats me as I should be treated. He always puts me before himself. He serves me, he loves me, he honors me, and I do him. It's like this healthy cycle. But I think that we've both been through a lot of counseling to get healthy and done a lot of hard work to have it be that way. So that's why I think a healing process is so important when we've had hard backgrounds, which it sounds like most of us have had.
Yes.
And it's, Rachel, I would be fascinated to know more about what this process is that you went through, because it sounds like it really worked. And I'm actually about to go on this EFT thing in a few minutes with this amazing woman from New Zealand, Margarita Colon. She does this EFT for abundance and living your greatest life and everything else. But, and that has helped me in the past with getting more money in. but I need more of the healing that you're talking about. The thing that's going to dismantle attracting whack jobs. If I can put it so bluntly.
Oh, you know what? We definitely have to do this again, right? We'll come back for a roundtable part 2 if all you ladies agree. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay.
I loved it. I loved it.
Awesome. You ladies were wonderful, and I feel so blessed. Can we one at a time just quick say something to the viewers? Anything you want to say to encourage them? Piece of advice? Anything you want to say? We'll start with you, Rachel.
Well, I'm going to just continue on with what I've already said, that if you've had traumatic events in the back in your childhood and even in adulthood, if you've been in a bad marriage, if you've had just anything that has caused there to be continuing wounds, I just really want to encourage you, get into a good godly counselor, read books, watch. There's lots of like podcasts and sermons and stuff like that online that you can watch that are about the healing process. But I think one-on-one counseling, if you can afford it, is a really important tool to set the stage for you to be able to live the life that you are craving, that you want to live. And I think that it has to be a God-based healing process, or else it will never really be complete. So like just going to a counselor that's not a Christian, I think will never really get you there. I think that if God isn't a part of the healing process, that there will always be a measure of it that's not fully dealt with. So that's some advice.
Amen. Thank you. Margie?
Well, it was a pleasure being with all of you. I can't wait to do this again. I just want to say that we as human beings, we have this saying that's around us. I think you wrote a book about it, feeding into the universe. Anything that you want from the universe, you just have to just say you want it, just feed it out into the universe. And I believe that the universe is God. That universe is God, because I just want to conclude by saying that in my life, I brought a lot of pain with me as a child. I brought a lot of pain with me as a teenager. And as a woman, I was a professional through all that. I was a mother. I was everything, but I was nothing but a shell. And we're all, just a shell with a beautiful hair, nice high heels, a nice profession, cameras in my face, but I was a shell. And what we need to do is find ourselves and know that we can find that inner strength and to put that to rest. And really quick, I myself am I'm infamous for emasculating men. And when we talk about empowering ourselves as women, that Rachel said earlier, that we need to, like, we can't be like competing with men. We have to be equal to them, respect them. I learned that with my relationship. And that relationship that I had is much more healthier than what I had then, only because I fed that relationship also negativity. And the reason why I bring that up now is because if I had not been open to learn from Denise, that I've spoken to her many times, Richie that's in my life now, I wouldn't be here to be open and share my story, not because I want to be a copycat and just say, oh, well, you know what, Rachel and Regina and everyone are just opening up and speaking. No, I just want to and I just want to do the same. No, I want to open up and share and let people know, because when I open up and I share and I open my heart, it's because I'm ready. Because I'm ready. And it's not because we're on a forum here, it's because we're ready. And this is, I want to just thank you all, because I was ready today. And I believe that all you were with me as my new friends.
Amen. Well, I felt led to call you and invite you. So I know that you were meant to be here. And thank you. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you.
Love you too.
You have such a sweet spirit.
You, all of you, and all of you. I think that we were meshed into this wonderful warm sweater, this nice warm fuzzy sweater on a cold day, and really quick, Deborah, I don't want to ambush Denise's.
That's okay. She got to get off in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
No, I can be late. I don't care. This is better.
Yeah? Okay.
With Deborah,
We don't want to lose you.
that I got from you that you just like, I feel that there's love there still somehow, because if you want to find the way to get better and be better when you were asking Regina questions regarding that. Just find it, I guess, find it with the same person that you feel that is not a help to you, because they might need you as much as you need them. You know, I am so happy that I met you all, and especially you, Deborah. You're wonderful, and I don't believe that you don't love your husband. I believe you love your husband, and I believe that you want everything, and we all want something to work better. But we'll put it in God's hands, and it will get better.
That's right.
I agree.
Yeah. Gina, you got final words?
Final words. Well, first, I'd just like to offer to all you ladies, if you ever want to talk about something, not coaching, but please, feel free. Denise has my number, and I would love to support all of you. I think that once we can show our vulnerability, then we can really mesh together, because we're not in competition. We want to be a support to one another, and there's enough of everything to go around, and we all have our own sphere of influence and our own talents and giftings, and I believe that there's purpose and destiny for every one of us. So like Rachel said, I think that the first thing that you have to do is get yourself healed. You have to get whole, because I know even for myself, when I was not whole, I was, and I'm still in a process of becoming whole. It's a lifetime thing. But, I was jealous. If someone else, why was someone else getting something that I didn't get? I still did not connect fully with love, and I had so much counseling behind me, many years. I've been in counseling since I'm 13 years old. And so many years, first with someone who wasn't a Christian, and then after that, Christian counseling. And they're both great, very supportive. But the difference to me was that, and I heard this expression the other day, I thought it was so great. We can have our walls up, but you know what? The Holy Spirit can get behind our walls and bring healing where it really counts. And so, one is supportive, and it'll get you someplace, but to be really healed and free of it, and to be able to forgive the people that, have hurt you, and though they're not asking for forgiveness, and even forgive yourself, that's a whole nother ballgame. And when you come to there, then you're really healed. And that's where the real power is. It's so empowering to find that place. And so, I want to just leave off with an encouragement to not accept less than that, not accept less than wholeness for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good word.
Amen. Deborah,
Yeah.
final thoughts for the viewers?
Well, first of all, I'm so honored to have been included in this amazing group of women, because you guys are amazing, truly amazing. And I'm so inspired by you all, and I think that you're all so powerful, and it just makes me feel so lucky right now at the place that I am in my life. Excuse me 1 second. Shh.
Did you use the water bottle? She taught me about using
The water bottle's great.
I use a water bottle on my dogs now.
But
they look it up. They love it. They stop barking though.
Stupid phone. Everything's going off. I think you're amazing, and I would love to do this again. Who knew what this was going to be? I think it's always best to keep it improv and just feed off each other's energy. And I think that there's a lot of great potential right now in the world with everything that's happened to us throughout this pandemic. I think this is a moment that we can really kind of go within and say, what do I really want? Who do I want to be? And how am I going to get there? And you guys, especially you chicks, you hot chicks, because you're all really beautiful, I gotta admit. But you all just have such inspiration inside of you, and you're so giving and open. And I just want to know you more. And I'm sure that anybody that watches this is going to want to know more, because we're all on a path of healing right now. This pandemic, this is more than just getting through the virus. This is about going deep and healing who we are as people, as human beings. And I can't wait till the next time I see all of you and I get to talk to you. And I cannot wait until somehow, and I don't know where, maybe we have to meet in Iowa since Rachel's off on the other side of the country, but we got to meet and have a big hug and do like a chick powwow thing with a fire and a bottle of wine and I don't know, chocolate or something.
And Margie has to cook the food.
Of
Oh, yeah.
course.
Going to feed all of you. So you
She's
pass
an
up.
amazing gourmet chef. Yeah.
I was so disappointed when the time was up. I was like, oh, it's over. But, you know, I just can't wait. I can't wait for this to happen again. And you know what? As much as we're pro counseling and pro opening our hearts and extending ourselves to one another, and or also trying to assume when that day, I mean, just trying to think hard if we're ready, Deborah, to speak to someone, to open up, not to be strong, be vulnerable, be weak, be everything and anything you want to be, as long as you be. And that's it. And you know what? Maybe it was God's way to bring the counseling to you in the form of us to love you, you know? And
I feel it. Yeah.
we're all going to be here for one another, even if we're absent. I think that we can get to know one another to say, hey, you know what? Margie, are you okay? Rachel, are you okay? You know, we'll be there. You know, it was a pleasure meeting all of you. And we're all corrections in training. That's my saying, Regina. We're all corrections in training, because right when we think we have everything correct, someone will correct that. You know, right when we think we got something right, someone will have it, they'll do it better. And then they will learn from that. And so how do you learn? You train. So we're all corrections in training. And spiritually, we'll get there. Hey, I have a spirit, I have God's spirit in me, but I also have the mouth of a demon. I do. I'm unfiltered, and I'm infamous in the industry for being the mouth, and I have ruffled a lot of feathers in the industry, but only because I couldn't control my anger when they were trying to get over or get free food or whatever. But why let that feed? Why feed into that, right? Feed into this. This is better.
God, you're amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Well, we're definitely going to do this again. And I think what we should do the next time is we should do it live. And this way we can get some maybe questions from our viewers and interact with the viewers, right?
How's next week? I'm in. I would love to see you guys next week. I think you're amazing. I don't know if I can last more than 7 days without you at this point.
Denise.
That sounds good. Okay, my doggies are saying it's the end of the show now.
Denise, you're just wonderful. This was a very good idea. Go ahead.
We'll schedule something as soon as everybody can do it. I'm good for next week. We'll see what everyone else's schedule is like, but definitely. I want to say thank you to the viewers. Thank you for watching. I'm going to put all your information in the description if anybody wants to reach you guys, if that's okay. You know, like on social media, I'll put links in the description. Okay. So again, thank you. We hope that you were able to connect with us tonight, and hopefully we can bring you a little bit of hope and help you go through anything you're going through. So, all right, ladies.
Blessings,
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, can you humor me? Can we do the dating game goodbye kiss? Rachel, you might be too young for that. Do you remember how they say goodbye in the dating game?
The one that was distant, right?
We go like this, to the left,
Yeah,
to the right.
Okay, ready?
All right, everybody, bye. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Okay.
Thank you. Love you guys. You're amazing. You gals.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You are too. We're the
Love
chick
you all.
Great
squad.
week. Everybody have a great week.
You
Have a
too.
good week.
Bye.
Take care. God bless you guys. Bye.
Bye.
unsilenced.